Simon, thanks for joining us today.
Okay.
Disappointing result, 2-0 away here at Lyle Meadow. However, performance was much better. How did you feel about how the game went?
Yeah, I mean, if you would have spoke to me after the 89th minute, 45th second, I think we'd be having a different conversation. Obviously, we're gutted with the result because I think in the 89 minutes before we'd had enough situations in both first and second half to be in front. We weren't clinical enough, let's be honest. It's a tough place to come in terms of opponents in this league. I thought we adapted very well. They changed, we had to adapt, and we exerted ourselves generally throughout the game. Definitely wasn't a 2-0 scoreline, let's be brutally honest. But the lads are furious with the penalty decision. You have to respect the experience that Anthony's got, and when he made a mistake, like last Saturday, he put his hand up and said, I own that, it's a mistake. Today he's furious with the decision. He didn't feel there was contact, and whilst we have to accept the decision, it hurts even more when we hear that. So before the 90th minute, I'd be standing here saying we weren't clinical enough, given the way the game had gone. And then we're talking 6 minutes later with a different scoreline. So
2 goals in 6 minutes there towards the end. The first half, though, you've got to say that Kettering dominated, and actually, although they had 2 fantastic opportunities, which Alexander has made 2 superb saves, I thought we actually played very well in the first half.
Yeah, and we researched the opposition a lot. Tim's obviously very experienced, and we're pretty clear on how they would set up. I thought Eddie, I thought Callum really exerted our sort of offensive actions, and we found moments where we were getting in behind a lot more than we have done recently. I think Alfie and Ish, for large parts of the time they were together, really had some good control, but really made those recovery runs to get the right side of the ball and defend when they had to, and that's hard work in the middle. So the scoreline is cruel, and let's say the reaction of the players in there tells you what they think about the penalty.
Can you just talk me through the actual substitutions that you made in the second half, just to see if you could try and change the tactic? Because Alvechurch were quite canny in terms of the way that they set out their side and then made some changes in that second half. Yeah,
so we knew they'd change their shape. I think we all saw how suddenly in the 20th minute their keeper got cramp, and they changed more obviously then, but during the game they were trying to change as well. And then when it got to the 60th minute, we're constantly aware of Callum's workload, and coming back from 8.5 months out has taken a little bit of time. We can't expect him to be hitting his strap straight away. And that was the reason behind last week. There was too much load in his body, with an eye on this game. And then we took the opportunity to be slightly more offensive. I think the back three were really solid, and it allowed us then to get the wide players into really more attacking areas, without being in line obviously too far forward. It just felt we were another 5-10 metres further up. Jammer, we know Jammer's experience, and to bring him on, it obviously gave us that possibility to actually exert ourselves even more, but it just didn't happen for us in the attacking third.
It was in that attacking third. I think we created some chances. We had a number of different corners, especially in the second half, to actually apply some pressure in the right areas. But as you mentioned, you've got Callum Powell plus starting for the first time for a while. George Forsyth came on today as well. There were a couple of injuries towards the end of the game. Any lasting effects, do you think?
Yeah, hopefully not. Ish felt his groin a little bit at half time. I think we all know how important Ish was to us during pre-season. Obviously coming back during the season is something that we were craving for. And when he felt his groin, but then he felt with the right treatment that he was able to carry on. And then there was a situation, I think, on the far side there that just overstretched the situation, and that's a few minutes later why that was a little bit enforced. It wasn't something we were planning for at that moment.
Right.
So there's 3 changes with a real identity to try and control the situation and win the game. And then obviously with Niall's situation, to get through 80 minutes with things off the field this week was more than I expected, to be honest. We just it just feels odd to be standing here saying we're talking about a 0-2 scoreline.
That's 2 wins in the last 9. We've got Redditch coming up now.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on the future?
My thoughts on the future?
Yeah, in terms of the next game.
Review today's performance, look at the positives, make the right decisions in terms of in line with what we see and learn from Redditch. Have full focus on training on Monday and into a squad situation on Tuesday. That's what we do. We look at where we're at, and it'll be a relentless focus on improving every situation, and that's ultimately my focus leaving here tonight.
Thank you, Simon, for that. We appreciate that. We'll see you again, and we go again on Saturday at Redditch.
Thank you, Doug.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.